James Bond's incredible watch collection since 1962. The world of James Bond isn't just about fast cars, high-tech gadgets, and daring espionage. It's also about impeccable style. And at the heart of that style is one constant: the iconic watches that have graced Bond's wrist over the decades. From rugged dive watches to futuristic digital marvels and Swiss masterpieces, every timepiece tells a story, reflecting not only the evolution of Bond himself, but also the shifting tides of horology. So, stay tuned to explore the world of incredible watches on this list. The Sean Connery era. The Rolex Submariner sets the standard, 1962 to 1971. When Sean Connery first graced the screen as James Bond in Dr. No, 1962, he set the tone for the franchise's fantastic style. His watch of choice was the Rolex Submariner, reference 6538, a timepiece that would go on to become one of the most iconic watches in cinema history. With its oversized crown and no crown guards, the reference 6538 was a bold choice that reflected Bond's rugged charm and fearless nature. The watch was worn in several of Connery's films, including From Russia with Love, 1963, and Goldfinger, 1964, solidifying its status as the quintessential Bond watch. It was a diver's watch, built for adventure, yet it looked just at home peeking from under the cuff of a tailored suit. In an era before product placement dictated such choices, it's widely believed that this Submariner was simply a favorite of the film's producers, lending the watch an organic authenticity. Connery's Bond also sported the Breitling Top Time in Thunderball 1965, a sleek chronograph that was modified by Q Branch to double as a Geiger counter. The Grön Precision, a lesser-known piece, made subtle appearances in You Only Live Twice, 1967, and Diamonds Are Forever, 1971, underscoring Bond's refined taste beyond the well-known Rolex. These timepieces become integral parts of Bond's world, symbols of his status and sophistication. The Roger Moore era. The age of high-tech spy watches, 1973 to 1985. When Roger Moore stepped into the role in Live and Let Die, 1973, Bond's world was shifting. The 1970s were a time of technological excitement, and Moore's watches reflected that change. His Bond introduced audiences to the Hamilton Pulsar P2 2900. It was a futuristic digital LED watch that epitomized the cutting-edge design of the era. With its red LED display, it looked like something out of a sci-fi movie, marking a departure from the mechanical watches of the past. This was the first digital watch ever worn by Bond, making it a historic addition to the franchise. The Pulsar P2 was sleek, modern, and emblematic of the space-age optimism of the 1970s, showing that Bond was always ahead of the curve when it came to technology. But Moore wasn't done with the Rolex just yet. His Submariner, reference 5513, wore in Live and Let Die, and The Man with a Golden Gun, 1974, brought back the classic Bond aesthetic. Of course, this was Bond, so the watch had to be more than just a stylish timepiece. In Live and Let Die, the Submariner came equipped with a powerful electromagnet and a rotating bezel that doubled as a buzzsaw, helping Bond escape from a sticky situation. This was peak Bond gadgetry, and it only cemented the Submariner's status as one of the most legendary timepieces in cinema history. It wasn't just a watch, it was a life-saving device, a symbol of espionage brilliance, and an essential part of Bond's persona. The Submariner, reference 5513, remains one of the most collectible Bond watches to this day, valued not only for its cinematic significance, but for its timeless design. The late 1970s and early 80s saw Bond's watches take an even deeper dive into the world of technology. The Seiko 0674LC and The Spy Who Loved Me, 1977, introduced a digital watch that could receive the display messages, a concept that feels eerily close to today's smartwatches. Bond used this feature to receive important intel from MI6, proving that even in 1977, the franchise was predicting the future of wearable technology. Seiko, known for its pushing the boundaries of innovation, continued to play a major role in Bond's wristwear. In Moonraker, 1979, Bond's Seiko M354 memory bank calendar became a tool of survival, featuring an explosive charge that helped him out of a tight spot. The idea that a watch could double as a weapon wasn't new in Bond films, but this took things to another level. By this point, The Bond franchise had fully embraced the idea of watches being integral to 007 survival. The Seiko M354 wasn't just a stylish timepiece, it was an instrument of espionage. The hybrid analog-digital Seiko H357 Duo display, worn in For Your Eyes Only, 1981, had a built-in microphone, reinforcing the idea that Bond's watches were as much weapons as they were accessories. This timepiece brought a new level of interactivity to Bond's gadgets, proving that the franchise was once again ahead of its time. The Seiko H357's ability to combine traditional hands with a digital display made it a fascinating hybrid, one that has since become a beloved piece of Bond history. By Octopussy, 1983, Bond's Seiko G757 Sports 100 featured a tracking device, further blurring the line between fiction and reality as technology in the real world caught up to Bond's cinematic gadgets. This watch was instrumental in Bond's high-stakes missions, allowing him to keep tabs on his adversaries in ways that seemed futuristic at the time. The G757 remains one of the most recognizable Bond watches, embodying the essence of 1980s tech-driven spy gear. While Seiko may not have had the same luxury pedigree as Rolex or Omega, it certainly left its mark on the Bond franchise, bringing digital innovation to the forefront of 007's world. The Timothy Dalton Era. Back to basics with tactical timepieces. 1987 to 1989. The transition to Timothy Dalton's Bond in the late 1980s signaled a return to a grittier, more grounded 007, and his watches followed suit. Gone were the high-tech digital gadgets of the Moore era. Instead, Dalton's Bond wore the Tag Heuer Professional Night Dive, reference 980.031 in The Living Daylights, 1987. A tactical and highly legible timepiece that aligned with the more serious tone of his portrayal. With a luminous dial that ensured visibility in low light conditions, it was practical, understated, and undeniably cool. This was a watch designed for a field agent, not a gadget-laden superhero. It signified a shift from Bond relying on technology to Bond relying on his wits and skill. Dalton's Bond also maintained the legacy of the Rolex Submariner, with the reference 16610 making an appearance. This was a return to the fundamentals. A mechanical diver's watch with a timeless design. The Submariner 16610 was known for its durability, water resistance, and sleek black dial, making it the perfect choice for a more serious, no-nonsense Bond. It was a symbol of reliability, perfectly reflecting Dalton's grittier, more action-oriented portrayal. Unlike the gadget-packed submariners of Moore's era, Dalton's Rolex was purely functional, a fitting choice for a Bond who wasn't relying on trickery, but rather his own skill. Dalton's era may have been short-lived, but it marked an important moment in Bond's watch history. The gadgets took a step back, and the watches became more about Bond's character than about their capabilities. They signified strength, reliability, and a certain no-nonsense approach, much like Dalton himself. In many ways, this shift mirrored the real-world trend of the late 1980s, where digital watches were losing ground to a resurgence of traditional Swiss craftsmanship. Dalton's Bond era helped lay the foundation for what was to come, a future where Bond watches would be stylish, functional, and deeply tied to the character's evolving persona. The Swiss comeback. Omega takes over. 1990s. The 1990s ushered in a return to Swiss craftsmanship with Pierce Brosnan's tenure as Bond. His wrist was adorned with the Omega Seamaster Professional 300M, beginning in GoldenEye 1995. This watch signified a partnership between Omega and the Bond franchise, cementing Omega as the official watch of 007. The Seamaster 300M featured a helium escape valve, a robust 41mm case, and a unidirectional rotating bezel, making it the perfect companion for an MI6 agent both underwater and on land. It also housed various gadgets, including a laser cutter and grappling hook, reinforcing its dual role as both a luxury timepiece and a spy tool. The Seamaster's prominence continued in later Brosnan films such as Tomorrow Never Dies, 1997, and The World Is Not Enough, 1999, where it was depicted with additional high-tech modifications. This era firmly established Omega as the brand synonymous with Bond, blending refined aesthetics with robust utility. A new era. Daniel Craig and the modern Bond watches, 2000s to 2010s. Daniel Craig's portrayal of Bond in the 2000s and 2010s saw an evolution toward a grittier and more realistic depiction of the character. His Omega watches reflected this shift, starting with the Omega Seamaster Planet Ocean 600M in Casino Royale, 2006. With a bold 45.5mm case, this watch embraced a rugged utilitarian aesthetic, emphasizing durability and function. Designed for professional divers, its impressive water resistance and coaxial escapement enhanced both performance and longevity. Craig's Bond continued to wear Omega timepieces in subsequent films, showcasing variations that balance technical prowess with elegant sophistication. In Skyfall 2012, Bond sported the Seamaster Aquaterra, a more refined piece that paid homage to classic horology while maintaining a contemporary edge. Unlike its predecessors, this watch was subtle yet powerful, featuring a teak pattern dial reminiscent of luxury yachts. Its inclusion in the film demonstrated Bond's evolving style, no longer just a field agent, but a man of taste and depth. The watch played an understated but significant role, highlighting how Craig's Bond was reshaping the narrative of 007's wristwear. The ultimate Bond watch, No Time to Die 2021. The latest installment, No Time to Die 2021, features a stunning Seamaster Diver 300M 007 edition. This titanium timepiece, lightweight yet incredibly durable, was designed with Craig's input to ensure it aligned with Bond's evolving character. Unlike previous models, it features a tropical brown aluminum bezel and dials, exuding a vintage charm while boasting cutting-edge technology. The lack of a date function and the military-style mesh bracelet give it a streamlined, purposeful appearance, emphasizing Bond's no-nonsense approach to his missions. Designed for both combat and elegance, this timepiece has quickly become one of the most coveted Bond watches to date. From vintage Rolexes to futuristic Seikos and the enduring Omega legacy, James Bond's watch collection is a testament to unbeatable style, innovation, and adventure. Each watch, whether a classic mechanical marvel or a gadget-laden spy tool, tells a story of its era, reflecting Bond's ever-evolving persona while maintaining the essence of sophistication and intrigue. Whether gracing the wrist of Sean Connery, Roger Moore, or Daniel Craig, they have each left an indelible mark on cinema history, proving that in the world of James Bond, timepieces are much more than just instruments. They are legendary icons. What do you think about it? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel too. Thanks for watching.